Welcome to Bloomington Today. I'm Emily Taplin. Thanks for joining us. First, we bring you the buzz for the week of February 26th through March 3rd. It's census year and the City of Bloomington wants to make sure you're counted. The census happens every 10 years and is mandated by the Constitution. It helps determine how billions of dollars flow into states and communities each year. By mid-March, you'll be getting official mail from the Census Bureau about how to take the 2020 census. It'll have detailed information about how to respond online, by phone, or by mail.
It's extremely important for people to complete the census because the census will shape our communities in the years to come. It's the single most important thing that you can do today to shape your community. There's over $675 billion that will be distributed through federal and state programs from the information gathered from the census.
The City of Bloomington has a complete count committee to help raise awareness and encourage participation. To learn more, head to blm.mn/census2020. Here is a more detailed look at how information is collected and why your count matters from the U.S. Census Bureau.
What is the 2020 census? Every 10 years, the census records everyone living in this country. It's written in the Constitution and comes in a questionnaire that counts everyone who lives at your address on April 1st. The data can be used to inform funding for services like fire stations, schools, clinics, and representation that affect your community.
How will 2020 census data be used? Where there are more people, there are more needs for public services. That's why the census is used by the government to inform funding decisions each year. But that's not all. It's also used by nonprofits to inform services, by businesses to create jobs, and even by students for school projects. Understanding how the population changes helps us shape communities across the country for the better.
How does the 2020 census affect representation? There are 435 seats in the House of Representatives. These get distributed to the 50 states by population, and an accurate census response helps your state get the right amount of seats. States with smaller populations get at least one, while states with larger populations might get more.
How do I take the 2020 census? In March 2020, every address in the country will receive an invitation to complete a simple questionnaire, and there are 3 ways to respond. Number 1, do it online. Number 2, call by phone. Number 3, send it by mail. For those who don't respond, a census taker from your community will follow up and assist you.
Is my 2020 census data safe? After sending your census response, your personal information is kept safe. By law, it can't be shared with any other government agency, law enforcement, or landlord. No one. So take your 2020 census with peace of mind. Shape your future. Start here. Visit 2020census.gov.
Super Tuesday is less than 2 weeks away. The last time the state of Minnesota held a presidential nomination primary was in 1992. Typically, nominees have been determined in caucus meetings, but in 2016, legislation was passed establishing the presidential nomination primary.
The legislators in 2016 decided they would bring it back after the precinct caucuses in 2016 because a lot of individuals didn't have access to their caucuses, and they wanted to make sure that all voters could nominate a delegate.
The presidential nomination primary does not determine which presidential candidates will ultimately appear on the general election ballot in Minnesota. It's a method for determining how political party delegates from Minnesota will vote at their party's respective national conventions. Any eligible and registered voter in Minnesota can vote in this election. However, you do need to select a party.
So the March 3rd presidential nomination primary is a third election for this year. Normally we see 2 elections, right? So this is a little different in that the voter does have to declare their party preference in order to obtain a ballot.
Lewis said voter privacy is the city's top priority. If you would like to get your vote in ahead of time, early voting is open now through March 2nd here at Civic Plaza, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. If you're waiting until March 3rd, you can find your polling site through bloomingtonmn.gov. The City of Bloomington is looking at ways to reshape one of the city's original commercial corridors.
It's a very diverse population along this corridor, and so there's new services and businesses that are needed by the community.
The Lyndale Avenue retrofit project goes from 494 to 98th Street. The city hired Stanek Consulting Services and is looking at ways to attract new businesses and to help keep those already there. Most of the area was developed in the 50s and 60s.
It was the main street of the city, and before 35W, that was the highway that reached from the south to the north. And so this is sort of an older area where there hasn't been any reinvestment for decades. And there's a lot of older strip malls in there, and we really want to reinvest in those.
The city says the most important part of this process is getting public input so it knows what kind of businesses residents hope to see in the area. From March 2nd through 3rd, the consultants will be working out of 800 West 98th Street in the Clover Center.
The public is invited to just come in anytime and drop in and look at the maps and the concepts that the team is working on and be able to ask questions and offer suggestions and really tell them what they love and maybe things that they think might not work.
The main event is Tuesday, March 3rd from 5 to 8 p.m. Other opportunities to stop in are listed on your screen. Head to blm.mn/Lyndale Retrofit for more information. Progress to make a popular bike and pedestrian trail safer continues. You may have noticed construction work along France Ave between West Old Shakopee Road and West 84th Street. It's all part of the France Avenue Trail project. About 3 miles along the corridor are being updated to meet safety standards, including a boardwalk crossing over 9 Mile Creek to get people away from the roads. In the cold of winter, the boards are being laid, giving us something to look forward to when the snow melts. Construction should be completed by this spring. Approximately $2.8 million of the $5.8 million project are being paid for through a federal grant. The rest will be funded by the city. That is the buzz on Bloomington Today for the week of February 26th through March 3rd. If you would like to watch other stories from the show, go to this week's playlist. There you'll find a look at construction progress of a new Bloomington fire station. And hundreds flooded to Civic Plaza for the Bloomington Home Improvement Fair this February. We'll let you know how it went. Thanks for watching.